Today is Sunday, October 22nd, 2023. We ended the last talk also on Sunday. It was on October 8, 2023. So let's continue talking about the platform Sutra on the Praja chapter. And last time we ended on the talk about the 12 divisions of scriptures of the teachings of the Buddhas. And although we categorize in the 12 divisions, but for certain sutras, they did not really just focus on one categories, but there are some scriptures that exhibit a very rich variety of style and content, and encompassing multiple categories within the 12 divisions. Now we take an example of the Lotus Sutra. The profound scriptures that transcend conventional boundaries. In it, one encounters prose. It is under the category classified as sutras. And then their verses, their recitation, and other literary elements. And also in the Lotus Sutra, it delves into the concept of causality, which is in the renowned chapter titled the chapter of the assurance of future Buddhahood. And it's, of course, it's in the aspect of Vyakarana. And in this chapter, it examine the interplay of cause and effect. Now, more than that, Lotus Sutra weaves a tapestry of wisdom through captivating parables such as parable of the burning house, parables of herbs, and the parable of the poor son. Now, these allegorical narratives vividly illustrate the multifaceted themes embraced within the Lotus Sutra, showcasing its depth and breadth. So let's continue on. That's from last on the last Sunday, October 8. Now, fundamentally, the diverse styles and content within scriptures function as skillful means, upaya, meticulously designed to guide and instruct sentient beings. The Buddha, understanding the variety capacities of beings, convey teachings tailored to their individual conditions, aiming to facilitate their realization of the profound wisdom of Buddhahood. So that's That's about the 12 divisions. Now let's talk about this meaning of myriad dharmas, or all phenomena. This term encompasses everything, embracing all dharmas within its scope. Now, the term dharma here itself can be represented with either uppercase or lowercase. In uppercase, it denotes the unified Dharma, which symbolizing the Buddha's teachings. In lowercase, it signifies the myriad individual dharmas, including human and heavenly aspects, the path of the two vehicles, and the Bodhisattva path. Among these, the 10 virtuous dharmas stand out, each with its distinct content. This manner of referring to the teaching is termed myriad dharmas, or we call it all phenomena. It is expressed in lowercase. That includes all phenomena of body, mind, and the world. And all these various elements collectively known as all phenomena. Now, in this context, all scriptures were spoken according to the people. Signifies that Sakyamuni Buddha's teaching vary significantly based on the diverse capacity and preferences of sentient beings. To guide sentient beings, the Buddha employed a multitude of methods and concepts, tailoring his instruction to individual needs, which is, you could see, the wisdom and compassion of the Buddha. The vast arrangements of teachings suitable for the diverse spectrum of sentient beings, and it also known as all phenomena or myriad dharma. The object of Buddha Dharma is, here it says that no difference between the foolish and the wise. In alignment with people's capacity, there exist both foolish, indicating ordinary individuals, and the wise, indicating the enlightened ones. When foolish pose questions to the wise and receive responses, the moment of comprehension dawns. There's no distinction between the ones foolish and the perpetual wise. This passage clarifies the intended recipients of Buddha's teaching. So the question is that, to whom are these teachings offered? They are conveyed conveyed by the wise to the foolish. However, those who come seeking the Buddha's teachings are not inherently foolish. They recognize the need for guidance and strive to find a way from darkness to light. In the contrary, some individuals are unaware of the path toward the light. They acknowledge the problems and afflictions, but are uncertain about where to seek solutions. This uncertainty is influenced by their karmic connections and merits from past lives. If their past merits are profound, they encounter the correct Dharma. Otherwise, they might turn to superstitious practices for help. The foolish perceive themselves ensnared in a troubled world and yearn to escape. Yet, when they encounter a wise guide, they realize that the world is inherently free from problems. Their difficult situations lie not in the environment, but in their attachments. Letting go of these self-imposed limitations reveals the inherent beauty of the world. This illustrates how the Buddha's teaching can guide the foolish toward wisdom. This is a story that is shared by our teacher, Master Cheng Yen. He said that once he met a woman deeply concerned about her unmarried 30-year-old son. Despite his good relationship with a girlfriend eager to marry him, the mother worried that her son would be controlled by his future wife. Fearing the marriage might be motivated by money rather than genuine affection. So our teacher asked her, when you were born, did your son come into this world with you? And when you die, will he die with you? She responded, no, he won't die with me. Then our teacher continued, if your son marries, is it his choice or yours? Is the daughter-in-law marrying you or him? And the woman said, she's marrying my son. Now, continue on. Our teacher asked, in the future, who will inherit your wealth? She replied, my son. Our teacher then pointed out, if your daughter-in-law joins your family, has children, and both your son and daughter-in-law pass away, who will inherit the wealth? Of course, the answer is my grandson. Then our teacher emphasized, this girl is devoted to your family. You give her some money, and eventually it benefits your grandson. It's a win-win. You gain a daughter-in-law. Although she found our teacher's words reasonable, her attachments made acceptance difficult. Her struggle revealed her reluctance to let go of her son and her wealth. Then our teacher suggested that focus on chanting the Buddha's name, the Bodhisattva's name. Forget everything else and chant for spiritual affinity and help. If a genuine connection exists, then the old woman's mind will open and her mindset will change. The problem is that we often struggle to let go of a crucial aspect that is concerned our life, our children, and our wealth. If there's something else binding us, we must release it step by step. Life, being paramount, sometimes necessitates financial sacrifices of our well-being. Yet, understanding the Buddha's teaching means progressively releasing all attachments. The Heart Sutra teaches when one realizes the emptiness of all five aggregates, one transcends all suffering. These aggregates encompass our body, mind, and all life-related aspects. So let's go to another paragraphs. I'll read the translation first. Good friends, if one is unenlightened, then the Buddhas are sentient beings. When one is enlightened for even a single moment, then sentient beings are Buddhas. Therefore, you should understand that the myriad dharmas are all within your own mind. Why can't you suddenly see the fundamental nature of suchness from within your own minds? The Sutra of the Bodhisattva precept says, I am fundamentally pure in self-nature. If you recognize your own mind and see the nature, you will accomplish the enlightenment of Buddhahood. The Vimalakirti Sutra says, he then unexpectedly retrieved the fundamental mind. So let's explain more of the teachings. First of all is about the Brahmajala Sutra. The Brahmajala Sutra, also known as Brahmajala Bodhisattva Sila Sutra, resides in the Mahayana Buddhist scriptures found within the Vinaya Pitaka section of the Taisho Tripitaka, translated from ancient Chinese into Tibetan. It serves as a fundamental text of Bodhisattva precept in Chinese Buddhism. Despite sharing its name with Brahmajala Sutra in the Pali canons Dika Nikaya, these texts are distinct, featuring unrelated content. While the introduction claims Kumarajiva translated it, its historical authenticity remain uncertain. Many scholars posit or assume to be true that it might have been composed in China during the 5th century. The quoted passage, all precepts for all sentient beings are pure by nature, conveys the essence that the precepts stem from the inherent purity of one's nature. Another one is about this Vimalakirti Sutra. Well, it is known as non-defilement in Chinese. And it translates to this immaculate name, or name free from defilement. Master Xuanzang rendered it as Sutra of the Immaculate Name, where immaculate implies purity, and name signifies praise. This version, used in Tripitaka translations by Tripitaka Master Xuanzang, is referred to as Vimalakirti Nadesa Sutra. So these about these terms. Now we talk more about the Buddhist teachings. Why can't people attain enlightenment? Now the distinction between Buddha and sentient beings lies in the contrast between delusion and awakening. The scripture wisely states, good friends, without awakening, the Buddha is a sentient being. And with one thought of awakening, sentient beings are Buddhas. Now this emphasizes that the myriad dharmas are all phenomena reside within one's own mind. Why then can't people attain enlightenment? Well, let's give some examples here. Again, this is shared by our teacher, Master Sang Yen. He said that he met someone called Mr. Liu, a lawyer he hadn't seen in over a decade. So the lawyer said, "What is enlightenment?" Master Sang Yen replied, "I can't define it, but to resonate with enlightenment, one must release attachment to self, relationships, and concepts." Surprisingly, he thought he might have achieved it. When our teacher questioned further, he explained how he lost interest in his legal career. Our Shifu was perplexed. How could detachment equate to enlightenment? And Shifu challenged him. Isn't that contradictory? How can you attain enlightenment without caring about money? The lawyer responded, I feel like I cannot go. Earning money and being a lawyer seems meaningless now. While he believed his situation mirrored enlightenment, our teacher probed deeper. Are you passive or active? Shifu, our teacher asked. So the lawyer hesitated, then confessing, it feels passive. I don't actively seek business or money. Then our teacher pointed out, this is not enlightenment, it's complacency, is not true detachment. So that is one case. It referred to the so-called a negative mind. Again, Shifu shared another story. He said that I had a monk friend in the past. Whenever we were together, whether walking or sitting, he never deliberated on taking a larger or smaller seat. Such thoughts never crossed his mind. Consequently, when someone kindly offered him a seat or let him go first, he accepted without hesitation. When questioned about his audacity, he calmly responded, if I don't take the seat, who will? If you don't sit, then it's only me. So one time, our teacher accompanied a venerable senior monk, and his friend confidently occupied a prominent seat. People wondered how he dared to sit there. He simply said, the venerable senior monk didn't sit there, so it's only me sitting. Now, asking you, does this person possess intent or not? He is undeniably virtuous. Is that right? If asked to sit at the back, he complies without reservation. Such a person embodies no intent. He doesn't contemplate whether he should sit in the front or back. Now, this story here just referring to a confused mind. Some professors believe, someone believed that the monk had attained enlightenment, but our teacher, said that he's just simply perplexed. The earlier example might seem sound like the lawyer act like letting go and having no intent. But do these signify the traits of an enlightened individuals? Well, we think about it. We could think about it. Then let's talk a little bit about this attitude of enlightenment. There's a saying of Dharma abides in Dharma's place. Dharma is just so. Now, this Dharma referring to the uppercase. So in the story above, one Sifu mentioned that I cannot precisely define an enlightened person. But in Buddhism, there's a saying, Dharma abides in Dharma's place. Dharma is just so. This phrase underscores the Dharma has its inherent position. It's a natural phenomenon within Buddhism, the essence of Buddhism. Enlightenment isn't about viewing negativity as letting go or confusion as enlightenment. Lawyers should excel in their profession, and business people should thrive in their ventures. However, this success should come devoid of attachment to gain and losses. Absence a defensive or harmful mindset towards others. Always keep your mind open without gates of protections. Recognizing everyone's equivalence to oneself, equal to oneself, but without seeing someone as yourself. Why? Recognizing the equivalence eliminates opposition. And if they aren't you, you won't absorb others' issues as your own. It will only lead to complication. Genuine enlightenment lies in treating all beings and situations with the wisdom of equality. The compassionate selflessness towards all beings and situations mirrors enlightened behavior. So we come to the conclusion that if an individual toils, work hard diligently, not for personal gain, enduring injustices without feeling hurt, then, although enlightenment may not be fully attained, they are not ordinary people. The questions of enlightenment cannot be easily explained or grasped. It must be evaluated based on our mind's reactions. We should reflect on whether we seem to have approached enlightenment or not. Now we come to another phrase where it says, the purity of one's original nature. What is the meaning of it? The Bodhisattva Precept Sutra declares, I am pure in my original nature. If one comprehends their own mind and recognizes its true essence, they become a Buddha. This statement is derived from the Bodhisattva Precept Sutra within the Brahmajala Bodhisattva Sila Sutra. Translates as fundamentally the self nature is pure. First, let's talk about theories of philosopher or religious figures on creation. Numerous philosophers and religious leaders attempt to quench humanity's curiosity about the origins of the world and men and humankind, often presenting theories of creation. Philosophically, this process might involve unity in evolving into diversity, starting from one and branching into two, three, and myriad others. Religious doctrines frequently suggest the existence of a supreme God who initiated the creation of the universe. For instance, according to Laozi's philosophy and the Book of Changes, I Ching in China, Laozi stated that Tao gives birth to one. One gives birth to two. Two gives birth to three. And three gives birth to all things. The I Ching asserts, it is said that the Tai Chi, Supreme Ultimate, gives birth to the two primary forces, just referring to yin and yang, and yin and yang transform to become all things. So from a religious standpoint, whether in India or the West, the belief prevails that there exists a highest or original God who shaped everything. Yet, one must inquire, where did Tai Chi or Tao originate? What about the supreme and original God? These concepts are just human creations. You can say that it is the products of imagination and attempts to fathom the origins of existence. No one has directly observed the Tao, Taiji, or the Supreme Original God. Claims of having witnessed them merely reflect personal speculation or individual experiences rooted in meditative states. As a result, these concepts fall short of fully satisfying humanity's innate curiosity and thirst for knowledge. Let's take a look at the Buddhist view of the so-called beginninglessness. Or sometimes people use this term, time without memory. So the term beginninglessness holds profound significance in Buddhism. In the context of the Bodhisattva Precept Sutra, it aligns with the so-called original nature. However, this beginninglessness does not equate to original nature. This original nature signifies something eternal, existing without creation, and devoid of a need, and devoid of the need for a creator. It has perpetually existed. Therefore comes the saying of the purity of one's original nature does not entail cleanliness or impurity. Certain peoples believe only Buddha possess pure minds because they are free from afflictions and possess wisdom. However, Buddhas change afflictions into wisdom, making them inherently pure. In contrast, ordinary beings, due to their afflictions and lack of developed wisdom, are considered impure. However, the purity of one's original nature transcends the concept of purity or impurity. To ordinary beings, it may seem impure, yet to Buddhas, it is inherently pure. So let's share with you a parable of the prince in poverty. In ancient times, a young prince was tragically separated from his royal heritage and ended up living a beggar's life. Determined to find his lost son, the king sent a minister on a quest, who eventually discovered the prince among a group of beggars. To stay close to the prince, the minister disguised himself as a beggar too. To the minister, the young beggar was unmistakably the prince. But the prince himself had lost all memories of his royal lineage. In his mind, he was merely a beggar, and the minister was merely a seasoned beggar. This perception shaped his actions, thoughts, and demeanor, even infiltrating his dreams. Gradually, the minister transformed the prince's circumstances through education and mentorship. The prince gained knowledge and skills, propelling both out of their beggar existence. Engaging in business, they carved a path far from their destitute origin. Their ventures eventually led them closer to the royal palace, where they caught the king's attention due to their exceptional abilities. Recognizing the prince's exceptional qualities, the king adopted him as his own, intending to pass the throne to him in his old age. In that defining moment, the prince suddenly awakened to his identity as the heir to the throne. Yet, during his beggar years, he remained oblivious to his royal lineage. The poignant question arises: are we akin to that prince, living as beggars while blissfully unaware of our regal heritage? Okay, so we will stop. I'll stop here.